What's up, you guys? Just want to come on here and give you guys the plays for the Super Bowl. So I know this game's in a couple weeks, but it's always good to um, get your slips in early because a lot of times the lines are going to move and adjust. So yeah, if you check this video, right before the Super Bowl, I bet the lines for a lot of these yards have probably moved 5 or 6 yards each, which is pretty big, right? 5 or 6 yards, you could lose a whole play by 5 or 6 yards. So first and foremost, just wanted to go over that we do correlated betting here. What that means is oh, well, I can explain when we get into the picks kind of what that means, but I do use a correlation tool, and this is it. This is its performance that has been tracked since the middle of August. So I don't know if you guys can see, but this says August 18th, and then it's up uh, over 800 units since then. So pretty crazy. This is a tool I didn't create. It was from Daily DSF Sports is actually who created it. There's a couple people on Twitter who promoted and that created it, but I do pay a couple $100 a month for it. And it's worth it because it does provide more return than that. You can see that the units are up over 800 since then, so it's worth it for me. But what I'm pretty much doing is I'm coming on here and giving you guys a couple picks from this tool or any other picks that I think are also good and correlated. But yeah, this is the return from this tool. It's not my return over the middle of since the middle of August, but it's the return from the tool. And you can see there's a couple plays on it today. This actually Prizepicks one right here is one of them that I'm going to give you. So without further ado, let's hop into it. And yeah, here is the Prizepicks play for the day. And then I'm also going to have an underdog play for the day too. What this is a correlated line, 25x. Sorry, a correlated slip, and it's 25x. Prizepicks has been doing a lot of payout shifts recently. So they've been any sort of correlation, they've been instead of a 25x, they've been bumping it down to like a 21x or a 23x, which is not good because that's going to those little shifts like that. That's gonna be the thing that's gonna decide if you're gonna be profitable or not long term. So you definitely want to shoot for 25, if not 24 x's. And I'm gonna try to provide them as much as I can here. Um, so yeah, without further ado, let's get into the play. I like to always start at the quarterbacks, right? So we have Brock Purdy, we have Patrick Mahomes going over their lines. So we got Purdy, and then we got Mahomes. Mahomes going over fantasy score, Purdy going over pass touchdowns. And then we have two players on the 49ers and then two players on the Chiefs. So we got Debo, we got Kittle on the 49ers, and then we got Rashee Rice and we got Travis Kelsey on the Chiefs. Pretty much how this works and how this is correlated is the more that Purdy throws, and then the more Patrick Mahomes throws, the more that they're likely to hit these lines, right? So like if they get into a shootout, if these guys throw a lot, Purdy throws a lot. The more he throws, the more likely it is for him to get passing touchdowns. The more Mahomes throws and all that good stuff, the more fantasy score that he should get. With that, the more that Purdy throws, the more likely that it is for Debo and Kittle to get their receiving yards up. And then same thing with Patrick Mahomes. The more that he throws, the more likely it is for him to get his fantasy score up. And then couple with that, it is for Kelsey and Rashee Rice to get over receiving yards and get their receiving yards up. So that's how it's correlated, right? You can kind of see like pairs of three here. We got a pair of three and a pair of three. So if Mahomes goes off and if Purdy goes off, well, two touchdowns, is that going off? I don't know, but then it's likely for these guys to also do well and hit their overs. You could also, so we do have these three pairs, right? We have these three pairs, but also there's a little bit of like um inner game. I don't know. I'm just making that term up, but inner game correlation too, where if Patrick Mahomes does really well and he's throwing a lot, that's going to put pressure on the 49ers to throw a lot and to do well. You could also think about it the other way. If 49ers go up early and they're throwing a lot, or it's just a close game and becomes a shootout, then it's likely for all of these things to happen because the more throwing and the more likely that it is a shootout, the more likely that all of these things are going to happen together as a six-man play. So yeah, this is the first play for the Super Bowl. This is February 11th, so definitely have to wait a couple of weeks for this, but I would put this in. And then we got an underdog play here, which is also a really, really nice play to do. So we got Mahomes going over, and then we have Purdy going over pass touchdowns again. And then we have 4 players on the 49ers. So that's what I like to do for Underdog. Underdog, you can only do 5-man plays. You can't do 6-man plays like you can in Prizepicks. But with that, you can do 4 players on the same team. So I like doing 4 players on the same team on one of the teams. So I got the 49ers, Purdy going over pass touchdowns, Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and Ayuk going over their respective lines, receptions, receiving yards, and receiving yards. And then I have Patrick Mahomes going over pass touchdowns. And you can see, obviously, if you have 4 players on the 49ers, that's going to be pretty correlated, right? Like if Purdy's throwing touchdowns, you could say, like, if Purdy throws a 50-yard uh 50-yard passing touchdown to George Kittle, that would be a pass touchdown for Purdy, and it would completely hit George Kittle's line, right? Which like could definitely happen. Like if George Kittle he runs a 10-yard in route through the middle of the field and he goes and he catches it and he runs for another 40 yards and scores, that would be 50 yards for him. Purdy would get a passing touchdown. That would already be like 2 out of our 5 plays kind of like hit almost, right? Obviously Purdy would need to throw another touchdown, but um anyway, this is the play for Underdog. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm going to be releasing more and more Super Bowl plays. And then also hopping into cool things like the NHL, the NBA, and also esports. I'm really big on getting into esports because I think that's the biggest opportunity right now. So I'll be posting League of Legends and Valorant and Counter Strike plays too because I think that's the best way to get correlation right now without them payout shifting you. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Should be a good Super Bowl. Was pretty good games yesterday. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.